Shalom, shalom, shalom. Call Halayan like Hawa, Bashem, Mashah, woman like Adonai, Yahushai. All praise to the Heavenly Father for His mercy, His grace, keeping us safe throughout these last days, all right, waking us up this morning and protecting us throughout the day and providing for us. Shalom, peace and blessings to the brethren out there in the four corners of the earth. All praise to the Heavenly Father. As we see the title, this is a topic that is not spoken of enough, right? At least in the truth, right? We hear it outside of the truth, right? More so outside of the truth. We hear it, we see it heavily on the TikToks, on the YouTube shorts, on the Instagram reels, on the Instagram posts. We see them on the Instagram stories. We hear it here and there on the news outlets, on media outlets. We understand and we see these things are being spoken of, but not enough in the truth, which gets you to wonder, because we're the ones trying to build up the nation, and if outsiders are speaking about it, of course they can touch on some things, but it's not the wisdom of the Most High per se. So we have to be able to address these things in the forefront, right? Because when we see how these guys are moving, right, let me get this real quick. This is Proverbs chapter 21. We're going to start at 12. It says, "The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked." Right? We have to wisely consider, meaning what? Paying attention and see what they're doing outside to our people. Right? We see how they get our women to fall for the tricks. Right? The serpent didn't go to Adam. The serpent went to Eve for a reason. The Willie Lynch letter says they're gonna address and kill the nigger man, but they're gonna manipulate and brainwash the nigger woman. Right? Paraphrasing. And when we watch these things outside, we see how society has destroyed the mind of our women. And we have to, and this is part of the curses, right? This is why the title is Deuteronomy 28, verses 56 and 57, which we don't bring out a lot. People don't bring out at all, right? And we have to understand these things, especially our women. They need to see these things, right? Again, the righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but the Most High overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness, right? We wisely consider because we living in a wicked society, and we seeing what's good for our souls, what's good for our nation, and what's bad. All right, because we gotta next one. Let me get this. Proverbs 22:3. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple passeth on and are punished." Right? We can't be simple out here and let our women be however they want to be and not correct them. Right? Because there's a lot of times, brother, I don't know, again, brothers love Eve. That's why Adam fell for Eve nonsense, right? Because he loved him so much that we don't want to get. We have to consider these things and not fall for the same tricks, and we have to have the audacity, right, to rebuke our sisters, to let them know you gotta get right. To let them know you don't know what's going on at all. And to let them know, yes, you do need to marry a righteous man. Right? And we're going to get into all of that. Because, yes, Eve does need to get with a righteous man. They have to. If you don't have a righteous head, you have a wicked head. But you're going to have a head regardless. Right? Your head is going to be either your father or your husband, right? And yes, a leader of a camp can be a head per se, right? But that Eve would have to really But that Eve would have to be in contact with that leader all the time, right? But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. But let's start right here. This is Jeremiah 6, chapter 6 and verse 13. It says, "For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. And from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely." In this society, of course, they deal falsely with our women. They give them a false sense of assurance. Both same thing. And, well, not same thing, but both of them, insurance and assurance, right? A false sense of safety, right? Because what? Verse 14. "They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly," right? Because our ears, at the end of the day, they're not stupid. They can still feel there's something that's missing. That's why they running around losing their minds. But this society alleviates the pain of our sisters. That's why they so bold to go against us, right? Or to think that life is rainbows and sunshine, right? Saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. That's what the society makes our women think. And this is what brothers, when we don't rebuke them, this is what we make them feel like. That they're good just because they know they're Israelites, just because they have head wraps and fringes. They think they're good. Nah. We have to. Sisters you would have never thought are doing the most audacious things. The most wickedest things. Right? So, and that's because we give them that sense of safety. They think they're good. They grow super bold. Because that's what the truth does. The truth, the spirit of the Most High makes you bold, right? And not it says knowledge puffs up, right? Let me see this real quick. I believe Romans 8, right? No, it's not Romans 8, but knowledge puffs up, right? So we have to understand these things and do what? And tell our sisters they have to themselves watch themselves, right? They gotta watch themselves. It's 1 Corinthians. Let me see. Right. 1 Corinthians 8:1. "Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. The point is this: knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth." And our women, they get puffed up. Yes, the women with the head wraps. They think they can be puffed up. They think they're the prize. And yes, even in the truth, you got to understand the Israelite men, that's who's the prize. And we're going to get into it, right? Because that's the head. If you don't have a head, you just have shoulders, arms, torso, belly, buttocks, genital, legs. But that's dead. Or everything else is dead. If your head is not there. So you got to have a head. A proper head at that. Because a wicked head going to lead you to destruction. But a righteous head going to lead you to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And all our sisters, they need that. There's not going to be no single sisters in the kingdom. There's no such thing. Women was created for who? Eve was created for Adam. Women is created for the men. That's plain and simple. Right? Yes, there are technicalities to make it there, but plain and simple. There's plain and simple. There's no technicalities in knowing that Eve's need to marry in order to, well, when they're in the kingdom, they will marry. I'll put it like that. But let's get into it. Deuteronomy 28 and 56. It says, right, "The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, because this is how our women used to be. And they still are, low key, right? You still see the traits. They very delicate, right? They like flowers, they easy to break, right? That's why Esau plays on their emotions. That's why this society plays with their emotions. And that's why as well, players, people, play them and things like that. This whole society, whether it's coming from Esau or whether it's from brothers in the truth and out the truth, they get played a lot, right? We understand that. Right? So, because they're very delicate. But the end result of it, and we cannot blame it on brothers, and we cannot blame it on Esau, that's the curse that the Most High has put on us, because we all been stiff-necked. Our women been stiff-necked, right? They've been the weaker vessel, right? So we gotta make sure we strengthen them and exhort them and let them know what things to discern out of the house of the wicked, right? Things how to, when you see wicked or something, when you see danger, you don't pass by it. Can't be simple. You got to be prudent, right? It says this: her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Now our women, they got evil eyes towards their men, and not just their men, their children as well. That is a given fact, right? That is a proven fact. Our women, they are evil towards our people, towards the nation, whether they realize it or not. But it's because why? They have their head up high, their noses up high, right? Esau's providing for them. Esau got them thinking that they are equal, right? So therefore, our women, they live in this life as if there's no repercussion, because they haven't gotten no type of repercussion from anybody. And we have to address these things. All right? Our women now, they oppressing our nation. They're one of the main reason why the main reason, and this also by calculated operations done by Esau. But they are the main reason why our men are killing each other, because they raise up effeminate men. Because they raise up men who grew up with no fathers, keep on blaming their pops for this, that, and the third. But that pop left because he couldn't deal with that woman. Also, and that's because the Most High took the strength of the fathers, right, from the household, right. He took their strength away from them, right. And women, they Salakia, right? Women, they actually getting blessed by Esau. They following the ways that Esau put them. Esau is giving them what? A bunch of what they call these things? Subsidizes. What? A bunch of grants, right? They have grants just for being a black woman, right? You could literally go apply certain grants, certain laws just because you're a so-called black woman, so-called Latino woman, you're a minority woman. You can just go and apply to get financial aid for school, financial aid for housing, right? Even if you don't have children, if you have children, even the more. They want you to stay a single mother in the house, right? Let me get this real quick. And this is how this ended up happening. where we, Jeremiah 31 and verse 22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? Right? For the Most High has created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And don't think that this is a great thing, right? Because women, you cannot compass a man naturally. Anything that a man does is greater than is done better than what you do. right? Anything that a man does. I'm not saying the things that women can do. I say the things that men do. Men or women are two different entities, two different beings, right? The things that men do, women cannot do them. And the things that women do, like giving birth, men can't do it. Yes, men can do giving birth in the sense of like Esau got their witchcraft. They can put the seed inside of an incubator, and then that child is still gonna be grown. It's still gonna come forth. That yes, we can do that. We can do that, but we don't want to do that. But a woman can't create a child without a seed, right? We create the seed. Women don't have a seed to create, right? But this society has turned things and made our women feel like they can compass a man because they have what? This society is based mainly, solely off of monetary, money, financial gains. Because women, there are more so-called black women and Latina women who are excelling in this society with their careers, they have more food stamps, they have more Section 8s, they have more grants, they have more this, more that. Even they have strangers holding doors for them and things like that. Now they feel like they can compass the man. And that's solely, to be honest, mainly our women. Because these even women, they understand already. Right? They know their place. You're not going to see an Arab woman step out of line. Right? For the most part. Of course, westernized ones, they're going to talk a little bit more than the ones back in Arabic countries. But you're not going to see them talk nonsense. Same thing in China. They know their place. Same thing in India. They know their place. Right? But our women, they don't know their place, man. That's why our women, they go overseas. They go to Dubai. They go to Indonesia. They go to certain places. And they act out against in those places. And guess what happens to them? They get arrested. That basketball player, she got arrested in Russia for bringing in weed. If that's even a woman, but we're gonna say that's a woman. But nonetheless, right? We got our women in Indonesia in a nail salon. They start talking nonsense. They think they're in America. They think they have the privileges that America has for them over here. Hey, they got arrested. They thought they were about to flee the country. They got arrested. Who else? A lady in Dubai started talking smack. Listen, man, you can only do these things in America. And you can only do it towards black men and Latino men. That's what the society says to them. Only against the Israelites, you can act like this. But against the heathen men, you better know your place because we're going to put you in your place. How many times Esau done spit in our women's face, smacked our women up, arrested our women, slam them on the ground and stuff like that. Esau lets them know, listen, no, you only doing this to your people. You don't do this over here, right? That's how our women, they compass our men now, right? Because our women, they have no understanding of what's going on. They're the weaker vessel, right? And this is why we out here. This is why when we out here, we gotta make sure we address these things because they're not going to be able to understand and know, and we gonna get that too, right? But we getting into it. We getting into it. Let's get this real quick. 1 Peter chapter 3, start right here, straight to the point. It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them. The them is our wives. Dwell with them according to knowledge. That's why you gotta get with a man of knowledge. If your father then installed these things in you, right? If your first head that you have, right, that you have or had, never installed because he was never present, he fled, he died, he went to jail, or he was busy with whatever else, or even if he was in your life, but he was never in the truth, so he never knew, he never had the proper knowledge. Hey, you got to get it from your husband. Because if you're not getting it from a husband, you're going to get it from Esau. Because we all got to have a head. Right? We all know 1 Corinthians 11:3 on down. Right? It goes Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the Israelite men, Israelite women, and then the Israelite children, and then the cattle, belongings of the Israelites, and then the heathens. That's the hierarchy of life. Right? So we got to dwell with you with knowledge, and we got to install these knowledge into whether you like it or not. And you're going to get this, you're going to hear this, right? It says, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. And this is very important. We have to understand, because we are the weaker vessel to Yahushua. That's why Yahushua gave us honor by dying for us. Yahushua loved us so much, he gave his life, and he let us beat him up. He let us treat him as worse than worm, right? As like it says in Psalms. Is it Psalms or Proverbs? One of them, if I'm not mistaken, right? In Job, it definitely says it in Job as well, right? We treat them bad, yet he says forgive them, right? This is why we out here. Yes, we have to let you know what's going on, but we love our sisters at the end of the day. Whether it's as a sister, we love you as a sister. We love you as a mother. We love you as a daughter. And of course, we love you as wives. Right? We love you because if not with you, who else we going to get with? If we don't get with a so-called black, Hispanic, or native, who else we going to get with? Not these heathens. Right? We got to honor you. Same thing. If the Most High doesn't honor us, who else the Most High going to get to? The Most High has to get with the Israelites, right? Yahushua had to come as an Israelite and die for the Israelites. Who else is it going to get if not us, right? Everything, you have to analyze these things the same way, right? With everything. But let's read on. It says, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Because we together, right? When we're together, we are heirs to the grace of life, because we ought to populate the earth, man. We will repopulate the earth. We will bring back the Israel. The 1/3 will bring back the 2/3 through the seeds, right? The earth will be repopulated by the Israelites. Righteousness is going to reign over and forever and ever. So if not with you, who else we're going to do it with? That's why we need our women to get in line, man. We need our women to understand these things. Let's go back to the curses. Let's go back to the curse. Deuteronomy 28:56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. You know, you ever had daughters? You see how delicate and tender she is. Any small things upsets her, right? If you have a daughter, if you had a little sister, if you have a little niece or son, any small things upset them, right? Not because they want to be annoying or anything like that. It's because they're so delicate. They're so precious. But they have no understanding that it's not that big of a deal, which is what our women, our adult women suffer from, right? They don't know how to, they don't have no knowledge of what's going on, no understanding of what's going on. And we're going to get that. Let's read on. Actually, let's read on. It says, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband, the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one. Verse 57, it says, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in seeds of straightness. Our women, they stumble and step all over their own children. They sell their children for food stamps. They sell their children for benefits. They sell their children to please massa, right? They make their children go to their master's institutions and things like that. Because why? They need to get those benefits. They need that dollar bill. They need these things. They try to convince their husbands, if they have any. They try to convince the people in their lives to do the things that Esau wants to be done. And they do it because they need Esau to bless them with monetary. That's why they eat them. That's what it means, she shall eat them. Our women, they are stripped of understanding. They are stripped of their wisdom. And again, if us, the men, if we fell from our, if we fell from our first estate, right? We're the strong one, right? Strong ones. We fell from our first estates. We don't understand. We didn't understand. And we still fall and we still sinning day in and day out. How greater of a fall is it for our women to fall, man? They are the weaker vessel, as we just read. And they eat their young ones. They trample, like it says, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear. Let's go to Job, right? Let's go to Job. Our women have no understanding. And this is the comparison that the Most High has made about our women. This is Job 39, verse 16. She is hardened against her young ones, just like it says in Deuteronomy 28:57. Let's start at 13, right? It says, givest thou the goodly things unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? The Most High, that's on the physical level. That's what it's going into. Through the spirit, it's talking about our women, because our peacocks is what? Beautiful animals, right? Beautiful animals. That's a peacock. And our women, again, man, they some peacocks, all right? They gorgeous. Our women is gorgeous. It's not just by the physical appearance, even through all their nastiness and things like that. Their spirit is beautiful, man. The spirit of Eve is gorgeous. It's beautiful, right? When a woman is doing something right, when a woman is being loving and everything, when a woman is fighting for righteousness, it's gorgeous. It's lovely to see, man. Because when you see the potential in our women, it's something to die and to fight for. It's something to actually want our women to reach, right? So that's why our women, they like peacocks. But then again, it says, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, right? And our women, they like ostriches, man, right? Because it says, which leaveth. Well, before we get that, let's go to, because comparison. Most I compare our women to ostriches, man. This is Lamentation chapter 4 and verse 3. It says, even, right? Well, actually, we could start at, well, no, we go at verse 3. It says, even the sea monsters draw out the breasts, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people, right, our sisters, our women, is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness, right? Again, the daughter of my people is become cruel like the ostriches in the wilderness. So what does the ostrich do, and what did the Most High do to the ostrich? Let's go back to Job 39, right? Job 39 in verse 13. It says, gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in the dust, and forget, right? She gave the birth to their children, and then what? They're gonna forget, right? Because it says, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, and that the wild beasts may break them. How you gonna have your children and you don't protect your children? How you gonna have your children and you let the wild beasts, Esau, run all over and eat up your children and destroy your children? That's our women. Again, that's why our men grow up to be so effeminate they cannot control their emotions, to the point where they go and kill each other, to the point where they go and rob and steal from each other, to the point where they go and grow up to be so lustful, right? Because the negligence of our women, the nurturers. right? Our first teacher. Our first teachers are our moms, right? Our mothers. They the ones when, because their voice is so soothing, right? We spent 9 to 10 months in their bellies hearing them. Shoot, we might even hear their thoughts, right? We share feelings and emotions with them. So they're our first nurturers. Yes, we the men create the children. Literally, we create them, but our mothers nurtured us. So, of course, they're our first teachers, because they, even in the belly, the woman is when they want to eat certain things, they want to eat certain things, they have desire to eat things, and they eating it, and the child, once the child grows out, comes out, the child starts to do what? The child grows to love that same exact food, that same exact ingredient, or whatever, right? So that's that, because the mother in the belly taught them to eat that. So again, so our women, they don't protect our children. They grow up to be ostriches, right? I mean, our children grow up to be wilds, right? I'm going to read, and now this is the reason why, because it says, verse 16, it says, she is hardened against her young ones, just like in 28:57, as though they were not hers. Her labors is in vain. Her labor is in vain without fear. And it's the reason why this, again, it's the curse that the Most High put upon our women, because the Most High has deprived her of wisdom, neither has he imparted to her understanding. Our women don't have no type of wisdom. They have, I'm not gonna say no type of wisdom, but our women does not have wisdom, right? They do not have understanding. They don't know what's going on. That's why they fell for the tricks. That's why Eve fell for the tricks, right? It's the weaker vessel from the beginning. That's why the serpent went to Eve. So Eve gonna fall for the tricks. And then our men, because we love our women so much, we fall for our women's tricks. Because our women get the whatever from the enemy, right? They get the knowledge, understanding, whatever doctrine or whatever nonsense from the enemy, and bring it to us. But we unlisten to them, to our women, because our women is so soothing, right? We love our women so much. But we've done fell for all these things already. Now, being in the truth, we had to understand everybody's roles, and we had to understand everybody's weaknesses, right? We had to understand and live by those. And especially they say what in therapy, or in when you go to what they call those things, one of those person trying to get sober from drugs or alcohol, first step is what? You have to recognize. You have to recognize that you are an alcoholic, a drug addict, whatever, a murderer. You have to recognize as things that you, AA meetings, that's what I was looking for, right? You have to recognize your faults, your downfall. You have to recognize your weaknesses. And our women, they have to recognize these things in order for them to grow. And they have to know they have no wisdom and understanding. Because it says what? Because Yahweh has deprived her of wisdom, neither has he imparted to her understanding. That was part of the curses, man. Since when Yahweh created y'all, right, to a certain degree. But now we all fell from our first estate. You fell completely from your first estate. Even lower, I'll put it like, even lower than the men did. That's why we're the ones that find out, oh, we're the Hebrew Israelites. We got to come back, repent, this, that, and the third. That's why the Most High said, unto you, oh men, I call. Because the women, they're not about business. They're about who's in front of them right now, and who and what type of promises, what type of enticing promises you can give me right there, and I have to be able to see it. That's how our women function for the most part. That's why they go for men with most money. That's why they go for men who are good looking. That's why they go for men who are physically strong, big, tall, right? That's why they go for the things, the eyesight, whatever they see, whatever they feel right in this moment, that's what they're gonna go for. Our women don't, their faith It's not built like the man's faith is, right? That's why, but that's how the Most High created them. We can't be mad. Now, I'm not to compare our women to animals or to dogs, but dogs are way weaker than men. And then when I say men, I mean mankind, right? Animals are they don't have no type of understanding per se, right? They can't speak. They can't do certain things. They can't walk. They can't drive cars. They can't create cars. They cannot even draw a damn car on a piece of paper. All they can do is chew on it, right? So these guys, they don't have no understanding. But does that mean we hate dogs? Does that mean we don't want to see dogs? Nah, we just understand what dogs' positions. Same thing. And it trickles down all the way to Israelite men. Right? Trickles all the way up, I should say, to Israelite men, when Yahushua dealing with Israelite men. We got to understand these things. Compared to Yahushua, we don't have no wisdom. We don't have no understanding. Unless Yahushua came and told us and broke these things down to us and sent his Holy Spirit to help us, we would not understand nothing. So again, unless Eve has a head to properly install these things, they're not going to understand and know nothing. Eve cannot make it to the kingdom without having a head, man. That's impossible. That is impossible. Because our women, they fell for everything that the serpent has told them. Right? Let's get this real quick. 2 Timothy. Right? Oh, dang, just escaped me. No. 2 Corinthians. Chapter 11 and verse 3. It says, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ." What's the simplest? Things is simple. There's hierarchy. You cannot make it things too complicated. Just listen to the men of knowledge. Listen to them. Follow. And then you're going to make it to the second wilderness. Whether with a husband or not, you're going to make it to the second wilderness. But from the second wilderness to get to the kingdom, you got to have a head. You're not just going to waltz in the the kingdom, and you don't have a head. You're going to have somebody, the Most High going to have you married with somebody at the end of the day. Right? Let's get this real quick. Let's go to Timothy. I think 1 Timothy I want. No, shoot, Salakia. No, not this. Dang, what I want. Chapter 4. We will come back to this. 1 Timothy 2. Actually, all right, let's get it right. Let's start right here. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." Right? What are seducing spirits and doctrines of devils? Let's read on. It says, "Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron." And we have both men and women, we have to be careful with not speaking these against these things, right? Because this is what those lies. It says, forbidding to marry, right? This is the point, right? And I'll finish it. And commending to abstain from meats which Yahweh has created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth, right? But the point is part of the point of verse 3 is forbidding to marry. That's a lie, and that's a seducing spirit and doctrine. That's a doctrine of devils. To forbid anybody to marry, and for brothers say, "No, you can't marry," or sisters say, "No, you can't marry," that's nonsense, man. That's nonsense. You cannot forbid anybody to marry. Yes, people have to understand what they're stepping into. You have to break down what marriage is and everything, because it's something sacred, and it's something that the Most High God loves so much, and it's something that the Most High uphold in a high estate, right? That's why he likened the kingdom into a man or to a bridegroom with 10 virgins, right? 5 wise, 5 not wise, right? So we have to understand these things, and we cannot be forbidding people to marry, especially when Eve does not have a head, right? Especially when Eve don't understand, and they don't have a head to guide them. They cannot. You have to still understand and see that, yo, Eve, you need to have a proper head, because you need a man present in your life. You need that masculine energy, like they say in the world. You need that masculine energy to actually show you, oh, you are, you need to. This is how you need to move, right? This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna succeed with this. This is how we're gonna succeed with that. Especially in the truth, the man of the Most High, you need to go ahead and get you one. That's why, and again, and this is why it says it right here, right? And we'll go back to First Timothy, right? This is why it says it right here, Isaiah 4:1. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. Our women, especially even to this day, our women with head wraps and things, they still got reproaches. They still don't understand these things, right? Especially, and that's why even in the during Jacob's trouble, our women that's how they're gonna move. They're gonna be like, oh, I need to be married, all right? Because if not our women with head wraps, who else is gonna say that? Who else is gonna say that? Is it the wicked Sukihana, or what's that one? Sexy Red, Meg the Stallion? Are they the ones that's gonna come that the Most High gonna preserve? Nah, those are the wickedest of our women. The most wicked of our women, they're gonna get put down. But and this is such a merciful act of the Most High to let our women come to him and take away their reproach, especially in that day. Because why? The Most High gonna provide a safety net for them. By whom? By the hands of an Israelite man. So of course, some women, even before they get to the second wilderness, they're going to understand this thing, and they going to already starting to get in line. Because one thing about women, they fall in line fast as well, right? Once they truly understand what's going on, right? Because again, women goes by their eyesight, right? They have to be living in that situation in order for them to get their ish together. That's our women. That's children. Our women are big children, right? Compared to us, I'll say, because everybody compared to Yahushua, we're big children, because we have no knowledge or understanding. But compared to us, it's like big children, because children do what? Unless you whoop their behind, unless you put them on timeout, unless you tell them no, you give them that stern face, unless you teach them discipline, they just gonna think everything is rainbows and sunshines. So same thing is gonna be happening to our women, to all Israelites really, but especially our women. But our women gonna have more mercy than the Israelite men, because the men, we're supposed to lead them, and they're not doing so. That's one. And two, our women, they and two, our men, they're gonna be getting killed. They're gonna be getting killed because they're not following the Lord's statutes and commandments. But our women, the Most High gonna have more mercy on them. That's why it's still good, because there's way more women than men. That's why even still there's going to be 7. And 7 could be 1, 7 could be 2, 7 could be 3. 7 just mean a complete amount of women going to come around once they come across that Israelite man who's more precious than the goat of Ophir. She's going to be like, what? Please take me in as yours. Please. She going to be back. She going to know what's up at that point. Just like now already, we see already as well, a lot of our women are understanding as of late that we that they need to have a husband, right? Like on Instagram and stuff like that. You see how the Most High is starting to wake our women up, but Jacob's trouble is really gonna shake the feathers of our our beloved peacocks. All right, the Most High gonna shake their feathers, and they're gonna understand to come back, right? Because they gotta take away their reproach. So you need to have a head. You need to have a husband. You don't have your father in the truth. Your father, because you're gonna need somebody to get saved with. Because the promises of the Most High is to the husband, right? It's to the men. Ye men, all ye men are called, right? Where we got the responsibility, and everything else falls under us, all right? So the Most High, dang, I'm drawing blank right now. I was thinking of a precept, but the Most High is dealing with the men. Let's go back to 1 Timothy real quick. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, right? It says right here. For Adam was 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Right? Eve was in the transgression. Adam was not deceived. Adam committed idolatry. That's what Adam did. Eve was deceived. Right? Well, I guess, yeah, he committed idolatry as well. But Adam, just like Solomon, man. Solomon committed idolatry because he loved his women so much. Go to 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 11. Chapter 11, start at the top. He loved his women, right? This is verse 15 right here. 1 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing. What does that mean? Our women gonna be saving. That means you need a husband. You need to be married. All right? Our women gonna be saving because we need our women. We need women to have our children. Right? It says, if they continue in the faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Yes, there's a lot of brothers that have children and the women fell out. Or have children before the truth and they came into the truth and then their women is just outside the truth and stuff like that, still in the world, right? So these women, they still can have mercy upon them. Why? Because we're gonna come back to this again. I think I want Job chapter 5. Right here. Job chapter 5. I'm gonna start right here. I'll start right here. Job chapter 5:19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. The Most High said, in Jacob's trouble, the elect men, no evil gonna touch them. Though the men who no evil supposed to be touching them, no evil gonna touch them. All right, they're gonna survive any type of troubles that come in their way. Right? It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourges of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Right? At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. This is the point right here, verse 24. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin. right? Thy tabernacle, right, is your household. Your household gonna be safe, gonna be at peace. That's what the Most High God is letting the Israelite. That's the promise to the Israelite men. That's why I get. So that's why Eve. They're gonna once they're gonna see these things, they're gonna come and try to cleave unto the Israelite men to get saved, right? Let me see something, Salakia. Right, and then that's when Eve gonna start things going to start clicking for them, right? When they're going through it and they need that Israelite men, right? And the Mosai, and that's those who still have faith. Though there's gonna be a lot of Eves who's not gonna have faith in those days, because they're gonna do what? They're gonna curse out the Mosai. They're gonna be like a foolish woman, like Job's first wife, right? They're gonna be like a foolish woman and curse the Most High out because they're not gonna be able. They don't have faith, because it says, notwithstanding, First Timothy 2:15 again. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith, in charity, and holiness with sobriety. Right? That's how things gonna go, man. That's how it's gonna go for Eve. So we have to understand these things and let our women know, hey man, you need to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You need to stop oppressing the men, stop oppressing Yahweh, the men, whether you knowingly or not, but you need to do what? Because again, you need to listen to a man of understanding. And if a man of understanding is a person on a video, right? Well, from any other camp, from any camp, right? Not any camp, of course, because some camps out there like that brother who was eating, who was celebrating Thanksgiving and eating pork and stuff like that. That's somebody you're not supposed to follow, right? But a brother who's sound, who's going with the scripts and not with their feelings and emotions, or that's reading the scripts to you, hey man, get with that understanding. And Most High willing, pray to the Most High to send you a proper head, a righteous head, and that head gonna lead you to Yahweh, man. That's what kings do. That's what a head does. A head brings the whole body to the table to eat, to the showers to drink, to get to be cleansed, right? A head thinks of the clothes for the body. A head thinks of the job that is fit for the body, right? The head does all these things. So we have to understand that, and when us men dealing with the women, and the women when you're dealing with the men, all right? What was I about to get? Dang, I forgot. Actually, let me get this. All right? Let's get this. Damn, I forgot what I was about to do. I'm going to get this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7. You're going to start at verse 27. It says, Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one, to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. Right? One man among 1,000 have I found. Right? Have I found what? That has wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. One man of 1,000. Right? We could start at 26 actually. Start to get actually, let's start at 23. So all this have I proved by wisdom. I said I will be wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it? I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even the foolishness of madness. This is what it says in Proverbs 21 and 20. We have to 21 and not 21, 20, 21 and 13, if I'm not mistaken. We have to um, get these things. We have to see that how the Salakia, right? Let me phrase it properly. We have to make sure when we see the wickedness of the world, of society, and learn from it, right? And this is what Solomon is saying, to the reason of things, to seek out true wisdom. It says, I found, verse 26, I found more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, in her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Right? More bitter than death is woman, because why? Women gonna make your life a living hell. In Sirach it says, better you live alone than with a woman, a quarrelsome woman or something like that, loosely paraphrasing. Right? Um, it's more bitter than death is woman. Because again, women gonna make your life a living hell if once they don't have understanding. Because they don't understand, our women don't know what's going on. So we had to explain and break it down and be patient with them, even though they go off, just like Yahweh is patient with us. Yahweh is merciful with us, long suffering. He died for us. We have to go to that same extent for our wives, our daughters, our mothers, our aunties, our sisters, grandmothers, so on and so forth. Right? To able to display that love, to display that patience, to display that we actually are for them and we know what's best for them according to the scripts, right? And according to life, right? The reason of things, right? It said, who pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her. How you going to escape? By because you're going to know what's going on and you're going to know how to move and deal with your women, right? But the sinner shall be taken by her. A sinner going to be taken by her because why? A sinner is going to fall for her tricks, right? A sinner is going to bite the apple, right? A sinner is going to say, that's my lovely wife. Or a sinner is going to start arguing with their wives and fighting their wives physically and punching and things like that, get into a physical fight, whatever, or that's you falling by her, man. You're giving your strength over to Eve. So therefore, you're gonna fall by her. But if you don't man up the Most High, you applying wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're gonna escape these things, right? You're gonna give a soft answer when it needs to be. You're gonna be authoritative, still with a soft answer, because you know how women, they sensitive. Remember, our women are like children, delicate flowers, right? So we had to understand these things and not fall for the nonsense that this society has set up for us. Right, verse 27, behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, right? And the one man among 1,000, again, is hierarchy, right? The true hierarchy, that one man among 1,000 is the Most High Yahweh. That's why Yahweh even said, there's no one good but Yahweh, but the Most High, but God. And then that's why the Yahweh said that. Now also but we know Yahweh is better than us. Of course, it's that one man amongst all the Israelites, right? And amongst all men, it's only it's the Israelite men, right? And amongst the Israelite men, it's a hierarchy. You could trickle down the hierarchy. There's a micro level and there's a mega level, right? And all fronts and all levels, all these things, all of this apply. That's why it says this. There's twofold, three folds, five folds, whatever, right? There's micro level, there's mega levels. Everything, it applies to this just as much as it applies to that, right? So one man among 1,000, and that one man is the elect men, because again, we're gonna be as the more precious than the gold of Ophir, right? The Israelite men that's keeping the law, such commandments, that's pleasing Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh in all fronts, is going to be that one man among 1,000. It says, I'm gonna read on, verse 28, reading on. It says, but a woman among all those have I not found. Right? There's not one righteous Eve. Not to say there's one righteous man, but again, in the hierarchy, when you're comparing men and women, right? That's what Solomon is doing. The reason of all things, men and women, is to find a righteous man is rare, very rare. But to find a righteous woman, you're gonna search out and you're never gonna find one. Why? Because the Most High strip y'all of y'all wisdom and understanding. Job 39, 13 on down. So we have to understand this, right? And verse 29 says, lo, this only have I found, that the Most High has made men upright. Only men made upright, but they have sought out many inventions. But we sought out many inventions. That's what Esau sought out many inventions. That's why now he's leading the earth to destruction. And our men, we want to follow Esau, you know, through our women and things like that. We trying to please our women. We want to follow Esau. We want to follow our women, and therefore we lead our people to destruction. That's what Adam did. He sought out these other inventions from Eve, but Eve got it from the serpent, and therefore now we're in this predicament, right? But the Most High says, the Bible says that God has made men upright. We got to understand these things, right? Right? It didn't say men M-E-N. It says men M-A-N. So it's not talking about mankind. It's talking about men, Adam. Okay? So he made us upright, but we sought out many inventions. But our women, they are the reflection of us. This could go on and on and on. There's so many precepts that shows our women they're the weaker vessel for real, and they need to get with an Israelite man in order to be able to get saved, man. Right? Let's go right. They need to understand these things and humble down. All right? It's this second Ezra 16 and 33. We saw that 32. It says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. Right? No things gonna be all hell upon this damn place, right? Because no man is traveling through. We seen post-apocalyptic movies. It's gonna be worse than that, but it's gonna be this is some small visual, but it's gonna be stinking. Imagine the dead bodies. It's gonna be cars, airplane, debris, animals, dead animals, damn heavy trees. It's not gonna be no men to clean up the streets and things like that and keep things in order. Our women can't do it. Yeah, there's some strong women out there, but they as a collective they can't do it. The exceptions, if 90% of women is weak, you know, when I say weak, they're not strong enough to lift up something to put things together. That 10% cannot do no difference, all right, in society. All right, so this how it's gonna go. Verse 33: the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Most High. Right? Our women not gonna have no men to help them at all. Right? So therefore they're gonna be mourning. That's why in Isaiah 4, now let's go to Isaiah 3. Right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, start at verse 24. It says, and this is talking about our women as well. When you jump up to verse 12, I'll jump up to 12 real quick. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. Right? And our women, they cause us to error. They destroyed our paths, man. They destroy our people. We don't understand. You don't understand how our women, they actually play a big role in the downfall of the Israelite men. And this is something that it needs to be said. Of course, Israelite men should be wiser to not listen and actually come out of these damn things, stop being mama's boys and things like that. But hey, the curses are the curses. This is part of the curses. Now, this is the end result of the curses on our women. Isaiah 3:24, it says, and it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness. And this is what's happening to them right now, right? Instead of sweet smell, women, they be stink, because our women, they used to use those leaves after they give birth, or even after their flower period, right? After they get their periods, they used to do this steam, flower steam. Some Eves, they still know about it, right? They steam up their cooter. I don't know if that's a way, if that's a polite way to say, but they heat up their bottom, their genital. Okay, their genital. They steam it up to get all the impurities out. Things. Actually, yeah. In Esther went through a similar process of that, right? To be purified. That's what it says when she was purifying herself for at least a year, if I'm not mistaken, with the herbs and things like that. That's what she was doing, right? Because the king, back then our women used to be so delicate, and the heathens knew about these things as well. Life was, people were more, delicate and things like that, especially the kings and stuff. Even to this day, the kings and the rich people, the elites, they know what's going on. So therefore, that's why they eat the finest of the finest. They have the finest service to service them and things like that. But now our women, they don't do these things. Now it used to be all of our nation used to do these things, but now our women, they stink. They don't do things like that anymore, right? And instead of a girdle, a rent. Right now, that's why now they got the Fashion Nova. Before they used to have a well set clothes on, right? But now they have just a damn rent, right? A damn a little piece of cloth, right? To hold their boobs and things like that. So that now it said instead of a well set hair, baldness, right? Now women, they don't have hair anymore, right? And now even more so, Jacob's trouble. They gonna definitely stink. Definitely, how women gonna be stinking. Why? Because you're not gonna have nobody to help you. You're gonna be taking advantage, and you're gonna run around looking and seeking, right? Instead of a well set of hair, you're not gonna have the beauty supply store anymore to go buy your weaves and your wigs and your whatever your fake hair to put in your braids and things like that. You're not going to have these things. You're going to be bald. Yeah, you're going to be losing your hair because you're not going to be able to take care of your hair. It might hit with chemicals from nuclear reaction, right? All that stuff. Well, you're definitely going to have a piece of cloths on you. You're not going to have those nice little, so-called nice Fashion Novas anymore. Even that, right? You're not going to have no Gucci. Definitely no Gucci, no Prada, right? You're not going to have H&M and things like that. Now it says instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, right? Again, sackcloth you're gonna have on you, man. It says, and burning instead of beauty. You're gonna be looking sharp. You're gonna be looking Uggs. You're gonna have, what's the movie? I can't even think of a movie of like a costume they put on a beautiful Eve and make her look crazy. I can't even think of a movie. But in movies, you know, how they make people look homeless and crazy and stuff like that. You're going to be looking worse than that. Right? It says, verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. That's the reason why. It says, and her gates shall lament and mourn. That's the same thing it says in 2 Ezra 16. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground. That's when our women gonna be finally humbled. That's why when you go to the next chapter, which is a continuation of this, says what? And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Because why? Because the Most High is not going to be wasn't taking care of them. So they're going to understand, yo, I need to get with that Israelite men. I need to humble down, man. Hey, this is a message for our sisters. You don't repent, you don't keep the ways of Yahweh Shai, all these things gonna befall you. This is the last thing we're gonna get, and then we're gonna wind down. Right? This is 1 Timothy chapter 5. We're gonna jump around this chapter. Right? It says, let me see where I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And our women, they live in pleasure. Again, they live with whatever they see. They want to be happy. If I don't feel like I'm happy, if I don't feel this, if I don't feel that, I don't want to do it. That's a bunch of emotional, right? And we understand it. You're a woman, right? You understand, but there's some degree, some levels of control you gotta have, right? Our women, yes, they were emotional as well, but they were great examples of, I'm talking about our sisters in the truth, in the scripts. It shows us there is our women are able to know and understand certain things when all is said and done, right? But we understand that I understand as well. We all fell from our first estate, and we all are striving to keep the ways and to look up to our foremothers and forefathers, right? If I can't say, oh, I'm like Paul, I am this, nobody can say that. No brother here on earth right now can say, oh, they labor like Paul, or they mighty like David, or they have faith like Yahweh Shai, right? Or faith like Peter, or faith like because Peter walked on water, right? Nobody here can say they have these things, right? Because we're still striving, and we right. Although, yes, we see we have the whole road, we see what's going on, but now there's more wickedness, and wickedness has grown upon the earth to a degree, to a level where it's damn near impossible to come back to the Most High. So if we fell to that state, our women, they fell even greater as well, as great, but that level is not at the same point, right? Now it says, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Can't be a woman and you living in pleasure, right? It says, I'm gonna jump down to verse 9. It says, let not a woman be taken in the number under 80 years old, having been a wife of one man. Right? It says, if a woman is a widow, she's over when she's 60, that's 80 years, 60 years old, you don't need to marry her. Right? If she has been, and that's a woman who's had a wife, who had a husband already. Right? And she's what? Right. She's a widow now. Now it says, well reported of good works, if she has brought up, this is the good works, if she has brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she has washed the saints' feet, if she has relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. Right? This is what the things that our women can do, should be doing. Right? You got to raise up the children. You got to help out the congregations, right? And help the afflicted, and this, that, and the third. But our women, we don't do that anymore. They live in pleasure. They seeking pleasure, even in the truth. If it doesn't feel right, I can't do it. You have to be able to endure, right? You got to do and these are all parts of the good works. That's a woman who, she already has a husband, and only a righteous husband gonna teach his wife to do these things, or going to, not even just teach, only a righteous husband going to inherit such a woman. So if somebody said, "Oh, what about her? She gonna, when she dies, she gonna, when can't she? Why you said she can't make it? She gonna make it, and she gonna have her husband. That husband that died, because she's a widow, right? Her husband that died was a righteous husband, because again, most I don't give a righteous wife to a wicked man, right? And we know there are instances in the scripts, in the cases of Job, in the cases of Nabal and Naomi, right? So it's same thing. These are different instances. Again, the exception does not make the rule. So right here, well-reported woman is given to righteous men. All right. So once she makes it to the second wilderness, that Eve right there, she's gonna be what? Or those Eves right there, they're gonna have their husbands brought back. And if their husband is not brought back, what's gonna happen? If their husband was wicked like Nabal, then the same thing that happened with Naomi, she got given to who? To a righteous man, King David. Simple as that. That's how the Most High God moves. Eve was created for men. If Eve is created for men, why is she going to be by herself in the kingdom? That's literally why you were created, for the pleasure of men, right? Because men love you so much. One is a companion so much. The Most High gave us Eve, and Eve became, and we love Eve so much, right? That's so same thing, man. So now verse 11, but the younger widows refuse, right? But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanting against Christ, they will marry, right? A younger woman, right? A younger woman, especially younger widows, right? A woman who don't have a husband and things like that. Hey, they're gonna start wanting against Christ. They will marry. They're gonna start having sex and things like that, and they're gonna go off, right? So to avoid that, let's see what Paul told Timothy: having damnation because they have cast off their first faith, and withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also in busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. And this is what happened. Eve be gossiping like a mug, man. Whether in the truth and not in it, especially in the truth as well, man. Eve be gossiping things that they ought not. They have no business talking about. Eve be talking about men's business, other women's business, right? They be just tattling. These are usually women who has no men, no husband, usually. But also Eve's, all our women they grew up in this society, but even the women who are married, they do such things as well. But the women who are unmarried, they are the ones who are suffering a greater what's the word I'm looking for? Disadvantage when such things happens, whether between a married woman or not. The greater disadvantage is for the unmarried Eves, because they don't have no men to correct them, the head to correct them. That's why Paul is saying this again, right? I'm going to read on. I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan. Right? Some are already turned aside after Satan. So that's why they need to marry. To avoid these things, man. To avoid these punishments, to avoid going off. So our women, they had to understand, and our people, we got to understand these things when we're approaching, when we're reading the scripts. We understand in 1 Corinthians 7, Paul was giving his advice. But Paul was giving his advice out of what? Knowing these things right here as well. Paul was saying he wished that nobody will marry. Why? Because to gain the kingdom. When you gain the kingdom, what's going to happen in the kingdom? What did Paul know was going to happen in the kingdom? Because who taught Paul? Yahushua taught Paul directly, right? Salakia. Let's get. So this is what Yahushua says right here. Matthew 19:28, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne in his glory. This when, second wilderness, and the kingdom is coming. The kingdom is here, and it's given, right? It's being given when Yahushua is given the hierarchy and things, right? It said, in the throne of his glory, ye shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, right? It says, and everyone that has forsaken houses, and Paul knew this, that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. You see that? Paul knew this because Yahushua taught him. And Yahushua, this is the words of Yahushua. So Paul said he wished that everybody would be like him and don't marry, because why? For the kingdom's sake. He wished that everybody will make themselves a eunuch, right? That's how you say it, right? A eunuch for the kingdom's sake. Right? Let's jump up real quick. This is Matthew 19:11. It says, but he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save them to whom it is given. And that's true. These days, not everybody can receive, can understand these things. Right? Verse 12. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, right? Some people, they're born eunuchs, right? They can't have their wee-wees don't function properly. They can't, and things like that. And there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. It's some men who got castrated by other men, whether through punishment or whether through false religions like monks and things like that. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. Meaning, if you have ears to hear, let him hear. Right? So those that make themselves king, like what? Like Paul made himself a eunuch for the kingdom's sake. Right? So Paul, he made himself, he said, I'm not going to be distracted with nothing. When you read, that's the whole point of 1 Corinthians 7. So Eve has to get married. They got to have a proper head. By the time the second wilderness come, all righteous Eves will have a head. Right? That's because our women, we fell from they fell from their first estate. They have no understanding. They hate their men. They hate their husbands. Right? They fell for all the nonsense, all the lies of Esau, and now they're being called to come back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They're being called to repent and actually keep the faith, bear children, serve the church, and live as daughters of Zion, man. Right? And that's the gist of it. And that the gist of men is what? Bear children for the Most High, for Yahushua. By what? By preaching the gospel, bringing out the word, letting our people know, and bid our people back to the marriage. Simple as that. And you're going to enjoy all the fruits. And Yahushua is the King of kings, and he's going to give us the fruits, and we're going to pass it down to the women. And the women pass it down to the children, so on and so forth, man. Again, it's a hierarchy. It's always hierarchy, man. The whole scripture is about hierarchy. You got to respect the hierarchy. And you got to understand the hierarchy, right? There's no such thing as Eve not making it, making it and being a single woman in the kingdom and stuff like that. There's no such thing. So you got, the script speaks for itself, right? With that, we're going to wind down. If there needs to be actually, I will do another part where it's talking about the role of Eve, right? What they need, what they can do for the nation, right? And how they need to conduct themselves. But we just got to break down the walls first, man. Tear down those strongholds first. And most High willing, this was edifying. Actually, let me bring this last precept out. And most High willing, our women. Isaiah 32:9, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Right? Hey, 'cause scary times are ahead of us, and you don't want to get caught lacking. Right? You got to go to your proper head. If you don't have a head, start being open to it, because it really shouldn't be more brothers. Well, I guess that's why it's gonna be 7 women grabbing, cleaving unto one man. But it really shouldn't, because there's more women, right? It really shouldn't be more brothers in the truth and more brothers single, right? Because that's the thing that brothers worry about too. That's the thing that invites spirits. Just like it invites spirits for the women, Satan tempt them to go talebearing and do a bunch of different nonsense, right? Sleeping around, whatever, and things like that, and go back to the world. But the men, Satan, when things like this happen, the men, they just worry about having a wife, right? They worry about this, that, and the third when their mind, they being distracted, right? So it really shouldn't be like that, because there's more. So easy, you gotta rise up, man. Do what you're called for. Stop being stop holding out. Stop holding out against your brothers, and thinking that you're looking for the great thing, for the perfect situation, for the perfect relationship, when you have a brother right in front of you that would lead you to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua in righteousness, and would love you with all his heart and mind and soul, like Yahushua calls him to do in Ephesians 5, all right, 22 on down, 26 on down. So, well, 22 and down. So, hey, man, we gotta understand these things. And we're going to touch on the brothers as well, but we got to touch on Eve first, because all the time we talk about brothers. But, Khan, rise up, you women. With that, Yahabashim Yashabakatam, Kum Yashala, Shalom.